We are live on YouTube as well, if anyone prefers watching on YouTube because of the delay and what have you. I've lost track of what I was going to say. Oh, Max Verstappen said he never gets nervous. That's what I was going to say. Max Verstappen says he never gets nervous. Like, just doesn't get butterflies or anything. That must be amazing. This is going to sound insane. When the cars line up on the grid, I get nervous. I feel a little bit nervous when the cars are lining up on the grid. That's so weird. I'm not even in the cars. Do you know what I mean? It doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So imagine if I was in one of those cars. I'd be shitting in the car. I'd be having a nervous shit. Wouldn't be able to hold it in. So Lando, just as I understand it, Lando only needs to finish third. So honestly, I don't give two shits if I'm Lando. If Piastri wants to come past me, yeah, fill your boots, mate. Fill your boots. I'm going to leave him some room because as long as I make sure I finish third, I'm champion. I'm not going to take any risks. So, yeah, if I'm Lando, I'm definitely not taking any risks. Let's pause that music. Yeah, but I think Russell and Leclerc and Alonso, they're not going to do anything stupid, I don't think. How many points is Max ahead? Just so I can remind myself. Behind, sorry, so I can remind myself. Afternoon, by the way, Tilbo. What is he? 12. So Max would need realistically something to happen to Lando for him to win, and he made a very good point himself. He said the only reason they're in this championship is because of the failings. And it's true. Like, McLaren should have won this before. McLaren should have... This championship should have been over 5-6 races ago. If Piastri wouldn't have capitulated over the past 5 or 6 rounds, I think it would have been over. Honestly, Lando obviously got unlucky with his DNF, which cost him a lot of points. So, yeah. But McLaren haven't really... they've not really operated particularly well, have they? Let's be honest. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. I don't know how accurate this is, but it is showing the tyres. I'm not sure if we 100% know this already, but it's showing Verstappen and Norris on mediums, but Piastri on hards. And everyone else on mediums down to Tsunoda on hards in 10th. Antonelli, Stroll on hards, but Hamilton, Albon and Hülkenberg have all gone on the soft, which obviously not an ideal strategy for them, but they're hoping something's going to happen early doors, I presume. So, I don't even bloody watch the intros anymore. I don't watch all of the guff. Was there a big celebration or concert or something before this? Because quite often I miss the grid walks now as well. I mean, I feel like Lewis has obviously had a terrible season. But I feel like this race in qualifying, he seemed to have the pace. I don't know what happened really on that last lap where he just lost out. But I've talked about this numerous times. No matter how good you are at the top of your sport, whether you're in football, racing, snooker, whatever it is, literally snooker, darts, as you get older, you lose it. you lose a little bit of mental acuity, a little bit of concentration, and it might only be like a small percentage in the grand scheme of things. But when you're up against people who are in their 20s at the peak of their abilities, I just think ultimately, I think Hamilton's lost his adaptability. He can't seem to adapt to the problems because Charles Leclerc is up in 4th or 5th, wherever he is, 5th. He's driving the same car, but he's able to extract a little bit more out of it. Life takes over, yeah, but ultimately he's 40, and whether you like it or not, people deteriorate at different rates. He's 40. Alonso has deteriorated as well. I think Alonso in the past 5-6 races has done brilliantly, by the way, but you've noticed a lot more mistakes creeping in with Fernando Alonso. But I just think Hamilton's lost. He's lost something. It is what it is. We saw it with Sebastian Vettel. Vettel lost something in his mid-30s, I think. He just lost that killer instinct. He lost that ability to just drive a car on the limit that he was able to do before. He wasn't the same driver. Same with Hamilton. It'll be the same with other people as well. It just happens. It happens at different levels. It happens with footballers. Some footballers, let's say Ronaldo, they can adapt and go on and still perform when they're 38. Others, by the time they're 31, 32, their legs have gone and they're done. Everyone's different. So, yeah. Good noon, Laz. Laz Marona. You know, the way things are going, it wouldn't actually surprise me if Hamilton didn't even make the grid next year. He says he's going to make the grid, but what if Ferrari go, Lewis, we can't deal with this? Or they'll say, okay, new regs, we'll give him a chance because he's had a say in how the car's going to be developed, so it'd be silly to get rid of him now. I don't know, but yeah. Here's the question, though. With this whole papaya rules thing, is this the first time that they're kind of splitting those strategies? Because apparently they've been having separate technical meetings, the two McLarens. They've not been having the meetings together. They've been having them completely separate and not sharing any setup data either. Obviously, they've split the strategies, so that's going to be interesting. It might be a boring race, guys. You know, it might be a boring race. Could be a banger, could be boring. Who knows? Well, they said earlier that they hadn't done it for a while, but that might just be misinformation. But sometimes, I don't know if this is the case this time, Freeman. It might have only been the 2021 season. Sometimes I guess it isn't today. Sometimes the finale is shown on like Channel 4. Or was that when they were hosting the races, Channel 4? You know, the 2021 finale? I think the Channel 4 asked Sky if they could have the finale, and they gave them the rights to stream it for free. I mean, listen, 30 quid, presumably on Now TV, is obscene, really, isn't it? Let's be honest. That would be obscene to for one race. It's crazy, isn't it? I mean, I don't know who I want to win. If I'm being 100% honest with you, I'd like to be honest with you. I'm not sure if I want Verstappen to win, but I wouldn't be against him winning because I think he's still the best driver in Formula 1. If I'm being 100% honest, though, while Lando would be the ideal choice because he's British, I'm not sure, if I'm being honest, Lando and Piastri, I'm not saying they don't deserve it, but I'm saying they would be the most underwhelming champions in recent years for me, personally. I think if one of the McLarens doesn't win, it would be the biggest capitulation of a team, honestly. Because they had such a pace advantage at the beginning of the year. Good day, Boots. Has it started? They're on their formation lap. I'll tell you once they've lined up. If you're watching on YouTube, you can pause. If you're watching on Twitch, you can pause your own feed. Or if you wish to get to the same point, it's up to you. $14.99 for 1 day on Sky. Oh, there you go. That's not as bad. That's not as bad. Tilbo's paid the iron price. I don't know, Shock. Maybe. Maybe. All right, the first few cars have lined up. I'm excited. See, Max is on pole position on this race, going for a world championship, and says, you know, he doesn't get nervous during races. I'm watching on TV, and I feel a bit nervous. That's the difference between us. Well, there's lots of differences. You know, more talented. Significantly. More handsome. I will tell you about the lights. So the last couple of cars lining up now. Green flag at the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Go. It's a good start from Max. Alonso. Oh, that's spicy. Norris has stayed in second place. Piastri stayed in third. Charles Leclerc's got up to fourth. George Russell's ended up behind Leclerc and Fernando Alonso. Fernando Alonso very right. Oh, Piastri's pretty close here, you know. Oh, Alonso, is he going to make that? Oh, no. Piastri's on the hard tyre as well. Oh, has he made it? Oh, wow. Piastri on the hard tyre. He's just drilling around the outside of Lando. Wow. I think Lando's... Like I said to you earlier, Lando doesn't really need to fight it. If they want to fight it out themselves, just run your own race. The McLarens are going to have way more pace than the Ferraris and the cars behind them. Just let them go. Have a lovely race, no danger. Finish in third, win the title. That's what I'd do. Yeah, let Oscar go try and fight Max. Let them crash into each other. You know... Sit in third. If he finishes third, he wins. No bother. I said this earlier. If I was Lando, I wouldn't be fighting Oscar. Let him go. Let him go. Look. Oh, interestingly though, Norris isn't actually. Okay, yeah, this is a bit of a problem because Norris has kind of fallen back toward Charles Leclerc already. So, Lando needs to be careful here. He doesn't want to be falling back into the pack. He needs to finish in third. He doesn't want to be getting involved in none of that. He doesn't want to be getting involved in none of that. Also, what Crofty's saying is actually not true. He's saying they're getting rid of DRS, but they're not. They're getting rid of how DRS works. Right now, DRS is if you're within a second of the car at a detection point, you can operate DRS. DRS is technically staying next year. It's just that the cars will be able to decide when they use it. It'll open up the rear wing and the front wing on the straights and then close in the corners. So it's still there. It's just not. It's not implemented in the same way, but it's still there. It basically now is no longer a second, behind. You just operate it on it'll be operated on the straights, front and rear wing, to reduce drag. I'm sure it's got some bullshit name. I mean, I'm sure it does, yeah. Hamilton noted for leaving the track and gaining an advantage. Hamilton has a habit of doing this and not giving the place back and then getting fucked. So it wouldn't surprise me if he's gone around the outside of Sainz there and just gained and just not giving it back because he never seems to do it. And then the team never tell him to do it. And then he ends up just getting fucked. Hamilton and Albon leaving the track and gaining an advantage. Maybe that was at the start. They usually, if it's on the first lap, they're usually quite tame about it, but... Here's the thing. What can Max do? Max has said to himself, if he wins the title, it's a bonus because he was never meant to be in this position. All Max can do, Max has to win the race, and he has to hope that Norris doesn't finish on the podium. He can't really impact that because if he starts backing into Piastri, all that's going to mean is Norris and Piastri are going to fight. Well, it doesn't matter if Norris finishes second or third. He can't win then. All Max can do is win, and I think, and let the rest of it play out. I think. Just let the rest of it play out. And what will happen will happen. George Russell back past Fernando Alonso. Lovely move. Oh, a bit of contact there between Behrman and Lawson into the chicane. Oh, Leclerc might go on Norris here. Ooh. Ooh, that was close between Hamilton, Behrman, and Lawson. Bloody hell. What's Norris saying? Drive like your yacht depends on it. I thought Leclerc was going to get past Norris there. Well, the race has settled down a little bit now. Lando's got out of DRS. Verstappen's got a 2 second or so lead. I think we're going to be in a bit of limbo now until the stops. I tell you what I don't want to happen. I don't want there to be some sort of mechanical failure that settles this. That would be sad. Let's watch this start back again. A much better start for Lando than Piastri. Leclerc giving Fernando plenty of room, but that was nice. I'm surprised that Piastri was able to get past Norris, though, on the hard tyres. You know, Lando started on the mediums, Piastri on the hard, so I am quite surprised that he was able to send it around the outside. Again, maybe just a case of Lando being a bit cautious, because you can't really blame him. Oh yeah, George Russell had a terrible start. Way too much wheel spin. Way too much wheel spin. I think Lando was cautious into turn 9 there, watching the replay back, because he didn't want to just understeer into his teammate there and take them both out. I think he was just being cautious, I think. Gasly Hulkenberg noted for a incident at turn 5. Later on, there might be a safety car. There can be one around here, especially with when tires get worn through the the final sector. So it's possible. You can't rule out safety cars around here. And the thing is, as well, when things start getting spicy later on, there is a championship. People are going to try and make moves. It's possible, as we know from years gone by, But we'll have to see. The way I see this race playing out now we've had the start, is the same way I think it was always going to play out. And that's Verstappen will probably win the race and Norris will finish third and win, I think. Imagine if Charles Leclerc gets ahead of Norris and Norris finishes in 4th and loses the championship because of it. That would be rough, wouldn't it? I can't even remember the permutations for Piastri. Piastri needs to win, but he needs, he needs worse things to happen, because he's 16 points behind, isn't he? So 21 seconds for a stop. Yeah, Hamilton and Albon are the only other 2 cars now still on. Oh, there you go. Hamilton's pitting off the soft tyres. And Albon both pitting at the same time. Well, yeah, he made up places, but then he's got to go on the hards, and so he's kind of ruined the rest of the race, surely. Unless he just stays on those hards now for the rest of the race. Oh, is this a little permutation thing? Hold on. Love that, Tilbo. Love that. But it's how can Norris win the title? I want to know how each one can win the title. Unless there's another... Is there another page to that one? Ah, yeah. Sorry, it's on the other pages. There we go. Yeah, so Piastri would need to finish first and have Norris 6th or lower. I mean, it's not going to happen, is it? So we'll see. It would take a serious issue, wouldn't it, for one of the McLarens, I think. Piastri essentially would need to win, and Norris would have to have a DNF, realistically. Or some sort of absolute nightmare. Whenever Fernando Alonso wants to, he can play the hold the pack up. But he obviously doesn't want to today because he's an absolute menace. Because he's just a menace. Him and Verstappen get on quite well, though. It wouldn't surprise me if he had a little conversation and he's like, well, you know, maybe I'll just not hold him up for you. Yeah, he did say he was going to watch the race, didn't he, on all the TVs. It's not much for him to watch right now, though. Zach Brown said he wasn't surprised that Norris and Piastri changed position. That's weird. Why wouldn't you be surprised at that? If Norris is in second and Piastri's on the hards behind him, that would be surprising to me. Unless it was pre-planned, which again would make no reason. Norris isn't going to go, no, do you know what? I'll let you through. That doesn't make sense, does it? I don't see why swapping the cars would be part of the plan, though, especially not around there. But, yeah, maybe, as Shockers said there, maybe it's exactly what we said earlier. He's not surprised because he didn't think Norris would fight because he doesn't need to. So maybe, you know, maybe he knows that Norris wouldn't have fought it because Norris only needs third. Well, yeah, it's fair, Current, because what Max does in the lead is irrelevant to Norris. Norris has to stay in third place. And his biggest issue right now is he can't get away from Charles Leclerc. That's his biggest problem. Well, all it'll mean is that Piastri can stay out longer. But Piastri's kind of like he's kind of like a nothing in this because the permutations for him to win the title are so unlikely that he needs to win, so he would need to get past Max, and Lando would essentially need to drop off a cliff or retire. So honestly, what he does on the hard, I think, is kind of irrelevant to Norris. Even if Piastri wins, it's irrelevant. He's a bit of a wild card in the sense that for Piastri to win the title, the minimum he needs is to win the race. So later on, if he's close to Max, he's going to go for it. Piastri is slightly closing the gap to Max now, though. And Norris has ever so slightly pulled away from Charles Leclerc. So... Why is the dynamics of Hamilton and Antonelli fascinating in the slightest? What's Mark Brundle going on about? There's nothing interesting about that at all. So what was Max's last time? A 29.5. Piastri did a 29.4. Norris did a 29.6. And Leclerc did a 30 flat. So Leclerc has fallen a good 4-5 tenths behind Norris now. Out of DRS, sorry. Hmm. Oh, excuse me. Oh, baby. Hmm. So what we got? I'm trying to decide. I presume it's going to be a one-stop race. I haven't looked at the tyre strategies, but I presume it's going to be a one-stop race. They're just going to go medium hards, most cars. Obviously, a couple of cars went soft hard, and you know, Piastri will end up on the mediums at the end, barring any safety cars situations. Hmm. Yeah, that gap at the front now is down to 1.5 seconds. Hmm. It's hard to judge here if Norris just doesn't have the pace or whether he is taking it very, very gingerly. Because he's 3 seconds behind Piastri now on a faster tyre. So that's a little bit weird. What do you guys think about the whole Yuki Tsunoda situation now that it's been announced Hadjar's going to Red Bull with Max for next year? And then Arvin Limbad is going to Racing Bulls alongside Liam Lawson. Yuki's now reserve driver at Red Bull. I kind of feel... I don't know if I'm misremembering some of the races, but I feel like Yuki would have been a much better choice going back to Red Bull than Lawson, wouldn't he? Wasn't Yuki ahead of Lawson when they were teammates? Surely Yuki is the better driver to go back to RB. No? Feels kind of harsh, really. Yuki... Oh, Russell. Yeah, Russell's coming in. Yuki was doing really well at RB. Lawson got put back to RB after not doing well at Red Bull. But then Yuki goes to Red Bull, doesn't do well, like everyone hasn't, and now he's out, even though he was beating Lawson at RB. It doesn't make any sense. Hadjar's pitting, Russell's pitted. It just doesn't make sense to me, really. I don't quite understand it. Because I feel like... yeah, I just feel like Yuki was doing a better job at RB, so I think putting him back at RB would have been better. But there we go. George Russell's only just come out in front of Lewis Hamilton. Jesus Christ. What? Hamilton's pace must have been really good on those hard tyres. I think we're going to see quite a few. Yeah, we've got McLaren to work it out, and now they've gone back in. That had to have been for Norris because they were holding hard tyres. Bortoletto's pitting. Yeah, but it cuts out. It cuts out. You know, the first corner as well, doesn't it? It's kind of a weird... Oh, it's a weird one. Verstappen's picked the pace up again. Hmm. They're going to box Alonso now. Oh, there you go. Lando Norris is pitting off the mediums. So is Charles Leclerc. This is going to be important. Oh, okay. Good, good, good. Norris wasn't held. I was worried he was going to be held for Fernando Alonso coming past him, but he wasn't. Bloody hell. I smell weed. There you go. Piastri seems quite chill, doesn't he? He always seems like chill in the car. He's like, yeah, we could probably do that. Yeah. 2.1 for Norris stop. Very good. But yeah, Norris has come out behind Antonelli, Sainz, Stroll, and Lawson in a huge DRS train. That's not great, is it? It's not great. Yeah, this is not good for Norris, this traffic, but... I don't think Norris was going to go for that move, and he changed his mind, I think, at the very last second. So Norris passed Antonelli. Oof. I don't think he was going to go for it. Yeah, so Norris passed Sainz. He needs that. Piastri and Verstappen, they're kind of holding now, 1.6 seconds. I know he's not pitted, but Ocon's up to third, living his best life in the Haas. Leclerc, Russell, moving under braking has been noted. Oh, he might get both of them. Yeah, go on, Lando. He got Stroll and Lawson into the same... Lovely. That's good. Oh, Lawson's going around the outside. No, but he didn't make it. Lawson trying his hardest there as a Red Bull driver. He tried. So the next car ahead of Norris is Yuki Tsunoda. Interesting. They're definitely going to keep Yuki out. Even if he needs to pit, they're going to keep him out. That's a cool shot. Oh, Charles Leclerc's going to go past him as well. Oh, it's double overtakes galore. Hmm. Yeah, Piastri's dropped back from Verstappen. Again, like, Piastri started on the hards, but Verstappen on the mediums is just as quick and the tyres are holding on. So... I think Lando, the last couple of races, I'm not in his head, so I don't know. But I think Lando in the last couple of races has maybe been feeling the pressure and he hasn't been performing at his top level. I feel like almost he's been a little bit reserved because he knows what he can lose. Well, yeah, they basically want Yuki to do a Perez from 2021. Oh, George Russell. Oh, another double overtake on Lawson and Stroll. Lawson and Stroll are getting I know they're on old tyres. Don't get me wrong. They're on old tyres. But they've been double overtaken like 3 times. Like, I know they're, they're against guys on fresh tyres. I understand that. But fucking hell. Yeah, I had a feeling of that, Wiggle. Oh, with Brawn GP. I kind of got that Brawn GP vibe off it as well. It's kind of like, I like Jenson Button and he's quick, but it almost felt like it was just, they had an edge at the beginning of the season with that car and then, they dropped off and then started wavering because they had such a big lead at the beginning. And then everyone kind of caught up with the double diffuser and then, it was a bit, I had that same feeling. So Norris is now within DRS of Tsunoda. Yeah. Do you know what? What's frustrating? I have a terrible memory. And so you're saying that Interlagos race. I would only remember it if someone gave me some details of it or I saw it, I would remember it, if that makes sense. I envy people that can just go, oh, do you remember that race from 2016 when X got past X and Thingy pitted on the 13th lap? And I don't know. Well, did you not watch it? Yeah, but I bloody remember it. I just don't remember those details. Yeah, the Brawn documentary is brilliant. Oh, he's weaving. He's weaving. You can't be weaving like that. That's not on. That's not on. Yuki was weaving all over the shop. That's not allowed. Come on. Yeah. I don't like that. He might have overtaken off the track, but... Right, Max is in. Onto the hards. Clean stop. 2.3. He lost a lot of time, Yuki, as well, in the chicane, which meant he didn't really get the benefit of the DRS down the next straight. You remember Perez and Hamilton? Hamilton got past, but Perez then overtook him with DRS down the next straight. I need to see a replay of it, but from the perspective of Norris, it looked like Yuki was weaving everywhere. He was just weaving left, right, left, right. That's dangerous, man. He was off the track. He was off the track, but Yuki moved once, twice, 3 times. Yeah, Lando was off the track when he overtook him. Yeah, they are looking into that incident. It's just you can't just weave like that. You can't weave left, right, left, right. These cars are going at 200 miles an hour. Lando needs to know if he's going left or he's going right. You can't just weave around like that's dirty. That's dirty. And if they've told him to do that, then that's even fucking worse. Like he's like, "Oh, I know what I'm gonna do." Nah. Nah, I didn't like that. Didn't like that at all. Imagine if they gave Lando Norris a 5-second penalty now for overtaking off the track after that. Imagine if they go, well, you did overtake off the track, so 5 seconds. It doesn't matter if they give Yuki a penalty, does it? Yuki's down in fucking 10th. He doesn't give a shit. All he cares about is if Lando gets a 5-second penalty. It'll be interesting to see how they see that. I'll be very interested to see how they see that. So we'll see. Well, let's just watch as Charles Leclerc goes past Yuki. Oh, yeah, that's interesting. He's not weaving around. It's interesting there that he lets Charles Leclerc past. Of course he fucking does. He's not going to hold Charles Leclerc up. They've noted Tsunoda for forcing another driver off the track. Now, that's different, which I am glad of, because I don't think that was fair. That wasn't fair racing from Yuki. So, because that's exactly what happened there. He kind of forced him to go off, didn't he? But they are investigating Norris for leaving the track and gaining an advantage. I mean, oh my God. Imagine if they gave him a 5-second penalty and he lost the title because of that. Oh my God. Imagine that. Oh God. It'd be like 2021 all over again. Because Charles Leclerc is only 2 seconds behind. And all Verstappen needs is Norris to not finish in third. I'm going to call it now. They're going to give him a 5-second penalty. They're going to fucking give him a 5-second penalty, and Max is going to win the title. That's valid, actually. If Norris fell to 4th and Piastri wasn't winning and had no chance of winning the title, the best thing they should do is get Piastri to drop behind Norris to bump Norris up to 3rd so they can win. That's the only... Because at that point, if I'm Piastri and at that point I can't win the title because Verstappen's winning... Norris is still within positions, then I'd rather my teammate win it than another team. Well, I mean, he was off track there, technically. Charles Leclerc is now only he's under 2 seconds behind Norris. Norris really doesn't have the pace this race. He really doesn't. I mean, having said that, well, I say that, but he just put in a 27.9 and Verstappen put in a 28.3. So he just gained 5/10 on Max Verstappen there. Out of somewhere. So Bernie's saying that Norris might be on a 2-stop. Hamilton's not catching Lance Stroll, and Lance Stroll's been on those tyres for 28 laps. Hamilton's been on for 20 laps. So, you know, Stroll's been on those tyres since the beginning of the race. Obviously, still has to stop, but would have thought he would have been catching him by now. Yeah, I don't really understand what's taking so long with this. It feels fairly simple. Yuki Tsunoda, 5-second time penalty for more than one change of direction. But again, he doesn't give a shit. That's not the one we care about because it doesn't matter, does it? No further action. Okay. I tell you what, a little bit of common sense was had today. Lando Norris, no further action. I'm glad there was a bit of common sense here, because you can't have Tsunoda doing what he was doing there, and you can't. It's not right, is it? So whether you like Norris or want him to win or not, we don't like to see that. Because I mean, well, yeah, it's not like he's cut a corner exactly. He's gone over a fake white line essentially, because you're still on the straight. It's not a bit of common sense. I'm happy about that. I think you can't understate how dangerous that is, because, you know, if Lando goes to the right or goes to the left, he's trying to make that decision. And the rules state, even though drivers do it, they push the limit. You can't react to a driver. So I can't look in my mirror and see him going left and then dart left, because it's dangerous, isn't it? We've seen what happens if wheels collide with wheels at 200 miles an hour, and it's usually a very serious airborne accident. And so drivers just weaving about like that is just, oh, it's a bit, you know, bum clenching. So, right. It does feel weird to praise him for a right decision, you're right. Track limits for Antonelli. He struggled with track limits, he has. Oh, and Hamilton as well. There you go. Hamilton's been all over it as well. Right. So Norris is now ahead of Piastri. Piastri hasn't stopped. When Piastri does stop, he'll be on the medium tyres for the final 20 odd laps, whatever he's on, but he will come out behind Norris. And I suspect he'll come out behind Leclerc as well. What we got? 5, 18, 19, 20. I think he'll come out behind Leclerc. It'll be very close to Charles Leclerc. So I think technically Norris is running in second at the minute. So it feels... I'm trying to understand this, guys, because... Hold on. I can't believe Yuki Tsunoda is surprised at his penalty. Moving? Penalty? What penalty? Like, I can't believe he thinks that's okay. That's insane. So Lewis Hamilton's pitting again. Oh, that's a shit strategy for him. Fuck, you know. What a shit strategy for him, then. He was up to 10th, but... Oh, he was in 8th, actually, wasn't he? Right. Anyway, forget about Hamilton. So, I can't understand Piastri's strategy. Because when he pits, he's going to be on mediums, but he's going to be in 4th place. At the very minimum, he needs to win this race. He needs something to happen to Norris and Verstappen, which I appreciate is now like a 5% chance of happening. But the minimum requirement he needs is to win the race. And I feel like coming out in 4th, trying to get past Leclerc, Norris, and Verstappen, it just seems like a terrible strategy for them. Unless they're waiting for maybe a safety car, hoping for a safety car, I don't know. Just seems a bit daft to me. Just like Lewis Hamilton's strategy. He's now on mediums for the final 25 laps of the race, but he's now back down in 19th because he's had to pit a second time. Antonelli's now pitted as well. Antonelli's just been a sitting duck all race, just going long. Like, it's not worked for him at all. At all. He's now last. I think he does. I think he is good enough. I think it's just his strategy this race. I think the last few races, he's actually been really good, Kimi Antonelli. I think it's just taken him a while to jump up from Formula 2 to Formula 1. He's got a bundle of potential, Kimi Antonelli. He's very, very fast on his right day. I think he's just taken him a while to get up to speed. Second half of the season has been a lot better for him. I think next season will be interesting to see how he does next season, I think. Brand new car, level playing field. I think he'll do well next season. I think he'll do well. But I appreciate it. It doesn't look great, does it? But yeah, to be fair, since the summer break, he's been a lot better, a lot closer to Russell, sometimes ahead now. Race pace has been a lot better. His strategy in this race has been weird, but we'll see where he ends up. I feel like quite a few of these cars are doing two stops. Actually, that's a lie. I think only two have done two stops. Yeah, that's a lie. Yeah, I wonder if some of these cars will try and stop again. Leclerc has now dropped back from Norris now. Leclerc is 4.6 behind Norris now, so Norris has got Leclerc covered currently. So they're thinking that Leclerc might go on to two-stop, but I don't know. Maybe some of these cars will go on to a two-stop. The guys like, well, Stroll hasn't pitted. Russell, Leclerc, they're 20-odd laps, so they'd have to go another 22. They'd have to go to like 42 laps on the hards-ish. So I mean, this is going as well as it could possibly go for McLaren, really, because they've got two possibilities to get a championship for Norris now. If they finish where they finish, Norris wins, and if Norris struggles, they get Piastri to drop back, Norris wins. You know. Oh, Albon speeding in the pit lane. Well, that's a slam dunk. That's interesting, Tilbo, as well, about the sim stuff you were saying. Why is his sim settings wrong, but Russell's were fine? That's weird. So, I mean, you've got 21 seconds he's going to lose in the start. So unless Verstappen, Norris, and Leclerc all pit again, which maybe they will, I don't know. Unlikely, isn't it? But it should get spicy toward the end. Oh, guys, I tell you what we haven't spoke about. I don't know if you guys have seen it. Haas won't be MoneyGram Haas next year. They're going to be Toyota Gazoo Racing Haas. Toyota are now going to be their title sponsor. So Haas have gone into partnership with Toyota. So it'll be TGR Haas, Toyota Gazoo Racing. You don't have to make 2 stops. You only have to change compounds. So 1 stop. So if you start on a medium, you can do 1 stop, change to a hard, it's done. The only way you would have to do 2 stops is if you started on a medium, then pitted, went back onto a medium. You have to use 2 compounds. You don't have to do 2 stops. It's like I say, if you pit once but change compound, then you've satisfied the rules. But if you pit once and go back onto the same tyre, so medium to medium, then you'll have to do another stop or you'll be disqualified, yeah. Still using the Ferrari engine, I understand, yeah. So it'll be a partnership with Toyota, but still with a Ferrari engine. What does the Gazoo come from? Toyota Gazoo Racing. Like, oh yeah, if he didn't make a stop, he'd be disqualified, yeah. What's the Gazoo? I know it's like their sport power, but why Gazoo? What does it mean? What does it mean? The word stems from the Japanese word gazo, meaning picture or image, and evolving to signify a collective of garages or intimate spaces where engineers can create even better cars. There you go. That's where it comes from. You've just learned something. As have I. So, Norris is putting in some half-decent lap times. Slower than Verstappen, but quicker than Leclerc, so that's all that really matters. Like, Charles Leclerc is doing a 28.1. Norris did a 27.9. Verstappen did a 27.7. But Piastri's in the 29s now. It is a lovely word. Well, that would make sense, Bosch, based on the word, like an image or collective of cars and stuff. So that would kind of make sense as to why it'd be their website. So let me just... Send that, sorry. Right. Well, Lance Stroll, who is in 6th place, still hasn't pitted. Alonso behind him has. But Lance Stroll still hasn't pitted. I tell you what, Lance Stroll's done 40 laps on those tyres. Fair play. As Charles Leclerc does pit again. Yeah, lap 40. So he's going to have 18 laps now on those mediums. So everyone's pitted bar from Stroll and Piastri. They're the only 2 cars that haven't. I mean, Piastri is now... Verstappen is right behind Piastri. Just get Piastri in. Because he's going to be 20 seconds behind Verstappen with 18 laps to go. And yeah, he's going to have newer tyres, but they've left him out for so long that I'm not sure this makes sense to me. From Piastri's perspective, he needs to win the race. This isn't just a teammate that's trying to help Norris win. He still has a mathematical chance, but part of that is he has to win. So I don't understand why they're keeping him out so long. He still hasn't pitted. Norris is pitting again now. He's just come into the pits, going to go on to mediums. No, he's back onto hards. Back onto hards. Clean stop, 2.4. Out he goes. Max obviously breezes past Piastri, which isn't surprising. I don't... Unless they think Verstappen's going to pit again, maybe? Do they think Verstappen's going to pit again? I don't know. I don't see why he would. Right. Yeah, I mean, he's going to have 17 laps to get 20-second gap from Max Verstappen. Okay. I feel like they've thrown Piastri's chance away. I know it was slim anyway, but as he pits... Yeah, good pit stop. 2.2. I'll be honest. Oh, I was going to say, of course, he's only coming out ahead of Norris because Norris just pitted. If Norris wouldn't have pitted again, yeah, sorry. It's because Leclerc and everyone else pitted again, didn't they? Well, Russell didn't, but... No, we're not on board with Hamilton. We're on board with Charles Leclerc. On George Russell, yeah. Come on, Crofty. Sort yourself out. Yeah. Yeah, but I don't... Unless I've lost my fucking mind, in what world is Piastri going to chase down Max Verstappen 25 seconds in 15 laps? It isn't going to happen. Are they... Sorry, are they deluded? Well, there's all for believing. There's all for believing, but Oscar Piastri isn't chasing down Max Verstappen. He's not getting 25 seconds in 15 laps. He's just not. There's hope, and then there's just pure delusion, frankly. And that's just delusion. I don't think that's going to happen. He'll gain, but he won't gain that much. Well, Verstappen could, in theory, pit now and still come out ahead. If he wanted to. I'm not sure they'll choose to. They might do, but... Because, yeah, George Russell is still doing one stop, and the cars around him are like behind him. So Russell, Alonso, Ocon, Behrman are all doing one stop. They're not going to stop again now. Yeah, they're leaving Max out, right? And as Jean-Pierre Lambassi's just said, Piastri would need to be 1.5 seconds quicker than Max every lap. And I'll tell you now, he won't be. It was just like I don't understand that strategy. This would be a fine strategy if Norris was the only one in contention and they just wanted to slow Max up a little bit or something. I don't know. But however unlikely, Piastri still had a chance of winning. He still had a chance of winning the title, but he has to finish first for that to be possible. And this strategy almost guaranteed he wouldn't. Very, very stupid. I mean, Max's tyres might fall off, but I think we've seen with Max, he's more than quick enough. Even on used tyres. So I don't see it happening. Charles Leclerc is now on a... Yeah, I mean, okay. Charles Leclerc is doing a 26.9. Norris did a 26.8 last lap. So if it stays like that, he'll be fine. So yeah. Well, no, like I say, if this is how I see this going. If Leclerc caught Norris and got ahead of him, then toward the end of the race, they would just drop Piastri behind Norris. It's the sensible thing to do. Because at that point, Piastri wouldn't be able to win, because Max is winning the race anyway. He wouldn't be able to beat Lando, because Norris is within enough points of him. So you either let Max win, or you drop back to guarantee that the championship at least comes to your team. At that point, you can't win anyway. So that's what I would personally think would happen. Pretty much. So they've got some things they can do, McLaren, to guarantee that they win the title with one of their drivers. Quick lap from George Leclerc. He's the quickest. George Leclerc. From Charles Leclerc. He's the quickest on the track right now. 26.7. 2/10 quicker than Norris. Yeah, it's George Leclerc. Let me just put something into perspective on pace. Verstappen's on 22 lap old hard tyres and did a 27.7. Piastri's on fresh mediums and did a 27.3. That's 0.4 of a second quicker. Wow, Oscar. He needs 1.5 seconds. Well, in fact, he needs more than that now because he's only got 11 laps left. And he needs to get 21 seconds. Fucking, like, I swear to God, like, their strategists must be... I genuinely think their strategists think they've got different drivers. It's like they base their strategy on Lance Stroll leading the race. They're like, well, we'll catch him easily. 1.5 seconds, no problem. It's like someone needs to tap him on the shoulder and go, sorry, it's Max leading the race, and it's Piastri. Oh, fuck. Yeah, this strategy's not going to work. Our bad. It's absolutely deluded. They've absolutely fucked Piastri with this strategy. Absolutely fucked him with that strategy. This pace is fine for Norris. I mean, yeah, Charles Leclerc's a little bit quicker by a couple of tenths, but there's only 10 laps to go. That's an interesting trophy. Well, we said this race would either be an absolute banger or it wouldn't be. And I think we've seen some interesting overtakes, but in terms of the cars in front, it's kind of gone exactly how we thought it would. And so I wouldn't say it's been massively exciting, has it? Next season's going to be interesting with these new cars. I think there's going to be a lot of chaos next year. I really think it's going to be very chaotic, a lot of the races, with car failures and issues and all the rest of it, and cars slowing on straights and drivers ahead not, ready for it. I think it's going to be... It's got the possibility to be quite random. Yeah, and 2 more cars on the grid, yeah, with Cadillac, yeah. It's going to be interesting. Yeah, well, I agree, Shock. I think the only reason Hamilton will stick it out for next year, and the only reason he'll still have a seat, is because the cars change, and he's kind of joined the team in anticipation of that, and they've, had feedback off him for next year. So I think it would be daft for him not to at least stick around for the start of next year. I actually get the feeling, here's what I predict. I predict that next year will start, Ferrari will not have a good car. I think they'll still be behind. I think Mercedes and Aston Martin will have 2 of the best cars. And Ferrari won't be particularly quick. And Hamilton will still be struggling. And he will be replaced by Behrman during the season. That is my hot prediction for next year. And then Charles Leclerc will leave for 2027. Based on what I've seen the last season as well, and the season before in Mercedes, I think Hamilton's lost. He's lost something. He's still competent enough, but he's lost an edge. I don't see, even if the car's competitive next year, I don't see a world in which he would beat Charles Leclerc across the season now. I think seven-time world champion or not, if you're shit, if you're performing poorly, you should be replaced. I'm not saying within a race, give him time, but, he's been pretty poor this year. I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just saying I think that's what will happen. It is quite wild, admittedly. But the main prediction there is that Ferrari aren't going to be competitive, or certainly not at the front. Mercedes supposedly have the best engine. Again, that's all conjecture, though, because where's that information coming from? It's all rumour, isn't it? No, well, they actually don't need to. I don't think, if they don't need to swap the cars, I don't think they will. They'll, because Norris, what's the gap? 4.3 to Leclerc. I think they'll be fine. Norris only needs to finish third. Well, yeah, but they've got the first test in January, current. The first test is in January, but they're so worried about this new generation of cars, they've got an extra test, essentially. They got the 2 normal tests, but they've got a test in January that is completely behind closed doors. Not even any media or journalists are allowed in there. Only team. So maybe some leaks will come out of that, but obviously it's not going to be televised. There's no press or journalists invited at all, so it's completely behind closed doors. But you have to assume something will get out, you know? There'll probably be some spy shots and various, you know, various things will creep out of it, I'm sure. And that's middle of January, that is, isn't it? Or end of January, 20-something of January. Guys, big news. Piastri's closed the gap. It's now only 17 seconds. With 6 laps. Well, 5. So, he's really closing that gap, guys. Excuse me. Yeah, it wasn't a good strategy from Russell, really. Either was it on the one stop. He's dropped off like a rock. Yeah, come on, Oscar. I'm just not even being funny. It's just an absolutely moronic strategy that they put him on. Moronic strategy. You know, it's like they didn't want him to win the title. Just like Verstappen, win the race and hopefully things fall your way. If they don't, they don't. But the first thing you need to do is win the race. And yet they put him on a strategy that makes it almost impossible. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to run you really, really long. Really, really long. So you lose loads of time. Then we're going to pit you with 17 laps to go. And you're going to have to chase Max Verstappen and gain 21 seconds on him. And he'll be on the hard tyre, which apparently is held up for 45 laps. So no bother. Like, what? Why have you done that? Why have you done that? At least give him a chance. Low key, by the way, Hamilton's actually had quite a good race. Because he started, what, 16th, 17th, whatever it was. Well, Ocon with the DRS down that back straight. Oh, Christ. And then he's had to, he's done 2 stops, had to do quite a lot of overtaking. He's had quite a, you know, quite an okay race, actually. For you know, by his standards. Leclerc's falling back now as well. I mean, Verstappen had quite a slow lap then, a 28.4, and Piastri did 27.4, a second quicker, but Norris did a 26.8, half a second quicker than Piastri, and he's on the hards, and Piastri's on the... In fact, Norris is quicker than Piastri at the minute. So... Not sure how I feel about Lando Norris world champion. What do you think about what do you think about Lando Norris world champion? Do you think he's done well this season? Do you think it's deserved? Do you think it's you think he's a worthy champion? I don't think he was the best dog, if I'm being honest. I still think Max Verstappen was the best driver this season. Max Verstappen was definitely the best driver this season. Lando made loads of mistakes. Max just didn't the entire season again. Lando made loads of errors. Had bad pace in races where he didn't need it. Made quite a few errors in qualifying. Piastri was super consistent beginning of the year, but then fell off a cliff. But likewise, I think he's had very, very good races. But I think if you were looking at who's been the best driver this season, it was definitely Max. So, sorry, does Piastri have a problem? Because Norris is gaining on him at quite a substantial rate, and Leclerc's dropped back quite significantly from Norris. Norris all of a sudden is like 2 seconds quicker than Leclerc. What the fuck? Yeah. I mean, he's benefited from papaya rules just as much as he's not, you know. But McLaren definitely have made some odd mistakes on strategy, which I think, the last race being a very good example, Qatar. I mean, they absolutely broke it, didn't they? They absolutely ruined themselves. Absolutely, categorically. If I'm Norris, I'm not going to try and overtake Piastri. We'll just come across the line status quo. I'm happy with that. I ain't going to risk it. Lap 56. Yuki Tsunoda's not had a great race, has he? I mean, he was probably compromised a little bit on his strategy for trying to get them to hold Lando up, and he had his 5-second penalty, of course, for that. But down in 14th now. So, as it stands, Lando Norris will be world champion by 2 points. Piastri's, honestly, I think if you break this down, Piastri's thrown it away. I'm not saying Norris doesn't deserve it, but Piastri was how many points ahead at one point? And then the last 6 races, Piastri's just dropped off a cliff. It's bloody Ana de Armas has got the checkered flag, has she? Piastri was so far ahead, and then the last 6 races, it's almost like he just didn't turn up. He was terrible. He was so bad. And that's what's brought Norris back in. Maybe the pressure did get to him. Yeah, maybe it did. 13 seconds in a lap. Come on. Hamilton was catching Ocon, but then he went for a move, didn't get past, and now he's fallen back a little bit. So, Max starts the final lap of the 2025 season. I wonder if Lando will take the #1 car. Max will be back to 33 next year then. He won't be able to run the #1. He'll be back to 33. Well, he could have had the 3 current. You don't have to run the #1. He chose to run the #1. He's been able to run 33 anytime he wanted. Only going to win by 2 points, though. Max Verstappen wins. Yeah, Piastri didn't catch Max Verstappen, did he? Just like I said he wouldn't. And Lando Norris becomes world champion. He would, to be fair to Lando, he would have been already closer if he didn't have that DNF. He would have already won it if it wasn't for that DNF that ruined him. So, Drivers' Championship back to McLaren. Oh my God. Imagine if they got disqualified. Fucking imagine. Imagine if all the cars now get judged now, and I look at my phone later today and it's like, oh yeah, it looked like the floor was illegal. Oh no. You fucking cursed them. I mean, look. You can quite easily say that over the course of a season, someone with the most points deserves to win. So there you go. Oscar's going to feel so shit, isn't he? Knowing he was so far ahead at one point, I feel like he's going to feel so bad. Listen, it's another Brit. I mean, Max is a very deserving champion, but it is kind of nice to see someone else win, isn't it? So we'll have a different world champion now, or we've got a different world champion, so that's cool. But I'll be honest, they tried their hardest to throw it away. Didn't they? They tried their hardest to throw it away. What did Max just say? We showed them one final time who's fastest. Did he say that? Max says he's not disappointed. I think Max accepted that he wasn't going to win the title this year a long time ago, so he just saw this as a bonus. Yeah, Mac have fucked up so many times this year. They should have won the title races ago, really, because the car was quick enough. But then it felt like, for whatever reason, there was just some sorts of issues. Yeah. Max, the thing is, I think Max has Lando's been quick, but I think that thing that he said a while ago got in their heads. Max said he would have won the title a long time ago if he was driving the McLaren. I think one thing we're forgetting here, though, is that let's not pretend like the Red Bull hasn't been quick. Everyone's like, oh, the Red Bull's not the quickest car. At some circuits, I think it has been. I think Max makes the difference. There's no doubt about that. But there's been some circuits where we've seen the McLaren be much quicker. But there's been others where the Red Bull and Max have been quicker. Yeah, but what I'm saying, Tilbo, you can tell the circuits where the car's making the difference, because there's circuits where Max has been dominant in the Red Bull, but there's circuits where even Max isn't as quick as the McLarens, especially earlier in the season. So don't fool yourself into thinking that Max has won these last 3 races in a much, much slower car. I think recently they've been a lot more, the cars have been quite equal. And when they're equal, Max will make the difference. Like, at the end of the day, I don't think anyone that isn't biased would say that Max is the quickest guy in Formula 1 right now. I think he is. And to be honest, I don't disagree with him. I think if you put Max and Lando in the same car, Max wins 100 times out of 100, in my opinion. But second half of the season, the Red Bull got their act together and they were much better. So, yeah, they definitely got on top of some of their issues. They brought a floor update. I can't remember what race was it. They brought a floor update, and since then, they've been way more consistent, the Red Bull. And Max was able to obviously extract a lot more out of it. And so, yeah. It's kind of similar. We were talking about the Brawn GP Jensen Button's title. It's kind of similar to that. McLaren did all their heavy lifting in the first 6 to 8 races of the season, where they were absolutely dominant, right? And then they've kind of held on when Red Bull have started, piling back on the pressure, combined with a few glaring issues from McLaren, who tried to throw it away numerous times. Qatar being a very good example of an absolute fuck up. But then there was numerous other times as well when they messed it up, strategy and what have you. Lando's made a fair few mistakes in qualifying and what have you, so they almost threw it away, but well, it just goes to show you, doesn't it? I mean, it's something we always knew. I mean, Max Verstappen is the only driver bringing in points for that bloody team. He drags it. He drags it through. And, But that title was way closer than it should. To be fair, Lando had a DNF. We were talking about it. He had that DNF as well. And, so, yeah. I mean, if we look at the race results, let's have a look. Results. So, Lando won in Australia. Oscar won in China. Max then won in Japan. Then Piastri won in Bahrain, Saudi, Miami. Max won in Imola. Then Lando won in Monaco. Oscar won in Spain. George won in Canada. But then Lando won 3 out of the next like 5 races. He won in Austria, won in Silverstone, then Piastri at Belgium, Lando in Hungary, Oscar at Netherlands. So it's kind of been a little bit back and forth in the second half of the season, because then Max won 2. Where did he win? Italy, Baku, George won in Singapore, then Max won in the United States, but then Lando pulled 2 important wins in Mexico and Brazil. And then Max won the last 2 before this. Max then won Vegas, Qatar, and Abu Dhabi. So Max got 9 wins this season. How many did Lando get? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lando already got 7. Max got 9. It's crazy. Oh yeah, was I including the sprints? Was I including the sprints? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, you're right. Sorry, 8. You're right, 8. They all had 7, and now Max has got 8. Yeah, you're right. So, I mean, in that respect, it's pretty even, isn't it, really, if you think about it? McLaren have had the faster car in points. No, it was... Even today, it makes it 7. No, it's definitely 8. Max won in Japan, Imola, Italy, Baku, United States, Vegas, Qatar. That's 7. Plus today, that's 8. Surely. I'm not going mad, am I? Japan, Imola, Italy, Baku, Austin, Vegas, Qatar, Abu Dhabi. Yeah, they all had 7 starting today, but Max just won, making it 8. Yeah, that's right. So it's been pretty, you know. McLaren had races where they were clearly the most dominant car, but I think, you know, there's been races where Verstappen and Red Bull have had the better package as well, I think. But ultimately, credit where credit's due. Like I say, I do think that they should have won in Qatar as well. I think Piastri should have won in Qatar. They threw away a couple of wins, didn't they? They threw away a couple of wins. So you could argue that the team almost cost one of them the championship. But, you know, they pulled it out the bag. That's all that matters. And, yeah. I'll probably watch the celebration after, because I've got to go finish off some packing. So there might be a stream on Friday. It depends, really. I'm not sure what time our flight gets in. I think our flight gets back at like 7 o'clock. Something like that. So depending on when we get back from the airport, I might stream or I might not feel like it. I don't know. So I'm away now until Friday. We're going to Krakow. Polish markets, yeah. Polish Christmas markets. So I'll be away now for a few days, so there will be no streams. But if I get back early enough on Friday, I might load up a cheeky stream. So have a lovely time this week. Enjoy yourselves, and I'm gonna have some, you know, cheap Polish beers, hopefully. So have a lovely time. I will see you on the flip side. I hope you enjoyed the Formula 1 season. I'm kind of, if I'm being honest, I'm kind of glad it's over. And we'll look forward to next season, which could be an absolute catastrophe. So, yeah, we'll have a lovely time. Right. I'll see you on the flip side. Goodbye.